sketch map?
Yes, ma'am. It would be the section that would be in the garage.
As we're looking at now photo 10 for and 3 of State's Exhibit 5, what does that depict?
Again, the residence is, this would be the south side of the deck here, so the residence is sitting up here. Now, the detective is starting to pan his photos southward to show the rest of the property in the back of the yard.
And so just to be clear, you're indicating that with respect to this particular photo, on the right side of the photo, we see the edge of the deck, which is attached to the residence.
That's correct.
Okay, and we're looking off into the wooded area on that side, from this perspective of that side of the house, which would be the west side of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as we're looking at photo 10 for and 4 of Exhibit 5, what's depicted there, sir?
Again, he's, like I said, he's panning south. So the residence would be to the right of the photo, and he's panning south.
And is this the pond that you had earlier described as being in the backyard of the home?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as we're looking at photo 10 for and 5, what do we have there?
Again, the photographer's panning south, so it's basically due south from this photo, depicting the pond, the groomed yard around the pond. He's picking up a target that was placed in the tree that was observed during our processing.
And you mentioned the groomed lawn. Did it appear that that lawn was freshly cut?
It did.
Now we're looking at photo 10 for and 6, and then if you could go to the next one, photo 10 for and 7. What is this depict?
A target that had been placed in the tree as well as a water bottle.
And was that target, did that factor in at some point in the investigation as you processed the scene?
It did.
And how did it factor in?
Shell casings that I believe were located on the rear deck, and the strikes that we observed in the tree and on the target itself.
So those shell casings appeared to be ones that may have been used for target practice as opposed to having any evidentiary value with respect to the scene that you were then processing.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And did you confirm that by other sources as well?
It was.
And those shell casings, what caliber were those?
I don't. I believe they might have been 22, but I can't say for sure.
They were not 40 caliber casings?
No.
Next photo. Okay, now as we're looking at photo 10 for and 8, what's the perspective there, sir?
This would be from that side of the pond, looking back on towards the north side of the property, covering the south side of the garage, the eastern side of the garage, into the front of the property, the northern side of the property.
And so using the sketch map, State's Exhibit 8, as we're looking here, if you could just note what we're looking at.
Yes, ma'am. You're catching the back side of the breezeway, the deck, the rear of the garage, as well as the eastern side area towards the front of the property.
Now as we're looking at photo 10 for and 9, what is that, sir?
Here, the photographer from that southeastern corner of the property is, again, panning across. He's picking up part of the south side of the garage, the south side of the breezeway, the entry door, and the southern side of the residence.
If you could use State's Exhibit 8, the sketch map, and just designate, please, what we've seen in this photo on the sketch map.
This being north, the photographer is in this general area on the eastern side of the pond, and he's capturing this view here. So it'll be the south side of the residence, south side of the deck, south side of the breezeway.
Now we're looking at photo designated 11 of State's 5. What's that, sir?
Correct. Now the photographer has changed locations. He would be on the western side of the property, catching the western and southern sides of the residence.
And at the very corner of that on the right-hand side is that portion of the deck that we see there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so on this State's 8, the sketch map, where is, what's the perspective of the house that we're seeing on the sketch map?
The photographer would be in this area here. where the next finger is. He's catching the west side of the residence as well as this section over there of the house.
And so on the sketch map, it would be the leftmost side of the house as it's designated here, that's depicted in this photo.
That's correct.
Now looking at the photo that's been designated 12 of States 5. What's depicted there, sir?
This would be the western side, rear yard, or southern part of the property. He's moving north. This is the northwest corner of the residence. So this is the front of the house, side of the house. And he's catching security lights in this photo.
Now, sir, looking at the photo that's been designated 18 of States 5, what are we looking at there?
This is a depiction of a bullet hole that would be located in the second floor. It would be the easternmost window.
Looking at, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That is it.
Looking at what has been what has been marked States Exhibit 6, a sketch map of the home. Is this the first floor of the home?
That is the first one.
And so as we're looking at this particular window depicted in photo 18, is it this window, the second floor story window, but on this side of the, actually I should use withdrawn. Now let me show you what's been marked States Exhibit 9. Is this a sketch map of the second floor?
It is.
So now showing you States Exhibit 9 is the window depicted in picture 18, the window on the left side of this sketch.
Yes, depicting the eastern side of this window right here.
And that window, what bedroom was that associated with?
This was the bedroom of the deceased.
And in fact, do we have a body noted on that particular sketch map there? Was that the position of the decedent as the man found?
That's a fair representation, yes.
Okay, now, looking at the photo designated 19 of States 5, what are we seeing there, sir?
This is what we call evidence placard. It was placed out prior to us actually processing the scene because of the item that was down on the step. We wouldn't see it as a piece of evidence, so we didn't want anybody accidentally stepping on it, kicking it, moving it, because it was nighttime when we first arrived. So that placard was put out prematurely compared to the other ones during the processing of the scene.
Now showing you what's been designated photo 20 of States 5, what is that a photo of?
This is a photo of a cut zip tie configuration.
And was that, this is a close-up of the previous photo, is that correct?
That's correct.
Looking at States Exhibit 6, the sketch map of the first floor, is there a rough, an approximate location of where you found Exhibit 6 noted on this sketch map?
Yes, ma'am.
And where is that?
On our sketch maps, the detective marks down the general location. So this circle with a 6 is representing the placard 6 that you see on the photo. So that would be on the front stoop or front step of the entrance to the residence.
Now looking at the photo marked 21 of Exhibit 5, could you please describe what we're seeing there?
Yes, ma'am. This would be a little bit further on, once we had obtained the search warrant, made entry, and started processing. We have Exhibit 9, which is on the front step. Then you'll see these letter placards going up the stairs. Those represent what we located on the stairs as being like a blood trail. Not a blood drip trail, but actual like a transfer pattern of blood on each of the steps. So the letters that you see here are areas of blood, blood-like substance, that we located during the processing. So to be able to show it to the courts, the attorneys, and the jury, it was captured because it's something that we would not be seeing. It's a visual perspective for individuals who look at photographs.
When you talk about transfers, what do you mean by that?
In blood stain pattern analysis, a transfer is when you have blood on an object, and that object touches a non-bloody surface. That would be a transfer. So if my hand has blood on it, and I put it on the table, transfer from my hand to the table. It's a pattern transfer.
And we have a State's Exhibit 9 there. Was that also blood transfer of some sort?
That would be.
Just for the benefit of perspective, as we're looking at the sketch the sketch map marked states 6, could you just point out the perspective that we're looking at in the photo designated 21?
Yes, ma'am. Again, this is the front stoop area, which encompasses this area here. 6 was the zip tie that we saw in the previous photo. 9 would be this on the top landing, if you will. And then we're looking inside the front door and up the stairs into the second floor from this perspective.
And that zip tie, was that the zip tie that was cut off Rita Vitalis' wrist by Trooper Barone when he responded?
Yes, ma'am.
Looking at the photo that's been designated 22 of States 5, what do we see there?
Again, this is going back to that letter 5 here that I was telling you about. And here you can see the blood-like substance on the step, and you can see the outline of a scalloped edge of a shoe.
And that's just one close-up of one step
Correct.
in that previous photo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now looking at what has been designated photo 40 of States 5, what are we looking at there, sir?
This is the front door that we were just looking in through. The photographer would be standing in the northwest room of the house, looking eastward, catching the sitting room, if you will, as well as the stairs leading upstairs to the second floor.
And so for those of us who are directionally challenged, that would be as you come through the front door, the room to the left?
The sitting room would be, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so on the sketch map, again, I'm utilizing the one marked States Exhibit 6. Could you just show that perspective?
Front door, staircase, sitting room, and the photographer would be in this area here, catching a view heading east, catching the stairwell as well as that sitting area.
And now when that front door was open, did it, which direction did it open?
The actual front door to the residence swung into the left, so you can see the hinges here, it would swing eastward.
And therefore, did it obscure the doorway to the, what you call the sitting room there?
If it was open, yes.
Now looking at what's been designated photo 41 of the State's Exhibit 5, what do we see there?
He's moving eastward from that last perspective we saw, so he's looking into that sitting room, this being the front window on the north side of the residence. So he's in that little foyer area by the stairs and the front door, picking up the northeast corner of the room, the sitting room.
Okay, so as we're coming through the front door again, if we were entering a home through the front door, this would be the room to the left.
To the left, yes.
And now looking at what's been designated picture 42, what's that?
Now, the photographer, the detective, is standing in the threshold area of the door, and he's catching it would be the southeast corner of the room. So this is the east side of the residence.
And just so that it's easier to visualize, again, using the sketch map labeled State 6, what perspective are we looking at?
The window here would be this window here, The detective is shooting from this general area over here, catching a half-bath, I guess you'd call it half-bath door, and this corner of the residence.
And so generally on that diagram, you're designating the rightmost side of what's called the sitting room, and then you're also including the bathroom door.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, looking at what's been designated photo 43, what's depicted there, sir?
Here, the detective would be in this general area, and he's shooting in the northeast direction, catching the bay windows and this general area here.
And so the bay window that you're talking about in the photo is at right in the center top of the screen, is that correct? And it corresponds,
I'm sorry, center top.
part of the screen, and it corresponds to which window on the sketch map?
This area marked window on the sketch map.
And so for the record, that would be the, as you're holding that exhibit, which again is upside down, as we're talking about it, it would be the right top window that's labeled on there.
That's correct.
Now we're looking at photo 44 of States 5. What's designated there?
This would be the entry door to that sitting room. So the detective who was taking the photograph would be in this general area over there with his view catching the corner of the window, the western corner of the window, as well as the entry door area into the sitting room.
And is that a TV in the center of the photo?
That's correct.
Okay, and is the closet that we see behind the TV noted on the sketch map exhibit says?
It is.
And where is that, sir?
This corner would be this corner here, depicted on the map.
And so within the sitting room itself, that box marked closet is what's caught in this picture.
That's correct.
Now looking at what's been designated states, photo 45 of States 5. What is that?
The detective taking the photograph, he'd be in this general area over here, and he's catching the entry door into the sitting room. So you can see the front door, and this would be the front foyer area.
And so, from again, the directionally challenged point of view, we're in the sitting room looking out into the foyer.
That's correct.
Now, looking at the photo that's designated 50 of States 5, what do we see there?
Here we're catching the front door to the residence. The photographer will be standing in this general area, the threshold of the sitting room, with the westward view into the living room area. So he's catching the stairs, you can see here, the front door, and this general area of the living room.
Okay, so on the sketch map, you're indicating, again, the sketch map being held upside down for the purposes of this direct, you're indicating toward the upper half of the living room.
That'd be correct.
And so the photo that we see, the window that we see in this photo would be where on the sketch map? So
This window right here is represented by this window right here, and here's the fireplace.
and again, now looking at the photo designated 51, what do we see there?
Again, the photographer is just moving across that front foyer area to the threshold of the living room. He's sketching this front bay window, as well as the northwest corner, northwest window. So the photographer is using this perspective right here.
Now, those two bay windows that we've now seen photos of and that are designated on this sketch map, again, upside down, the sketch map showing a window on either side of the stoop. Do those windows look out on the driveway, front yard portion of the home at Cornwall Bridge Road?
They do.
Okay. And so they would be looking out toward Cornwall Bridge Road itself.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, now looking at photo 52, is that just another photo of the living room area with the bay window in the front?
It is. In fact, it's starting to pan across to give you the full perspective of the room.
And those bay window, all the windows, they're as, actually the scene itself. This is as you come into it. You're photographing it as you see it, as it was.
That would be correct.
So there's no window treatments, there's no blinds, there's no curtains on those windows. You can see clearly through to Cornwall Bridge Road. Is that fair to say?
In this series of photos, this is as my team found it when we arrived. Nothing's been manipulated, moved, touched, except for people, the detectives walking into the residence.
Now we're looking at photo 53 of State's Exhibit 5. What's depicted there?
This is a view from the living room area. This is the front foyer, stairs leading to the second floor.
Okay, and on the sketch map, you could just show the perspective, please.
We're in the living room. It's a view out of the living room entryway to the staircase. So the detective taking the photograph, you stand in this general area over here, catch the bottom of the window. So he's just general area here, giving you a perspective of the stairs and upstairs.
And when you're talking about the general area of the sketch map, again, holding State's 6 upside down, you're talking about, as you look at it, that upper left corner of the residence in the sketch map.
That'd be correct.
And that would be looking toward what's designated stairs in the sketch map.
Correct.
Okay, what are we looking at here in the photo designated 54 of State's Exhibit?
The staircase leading to the second floor will be on your left on the photograph here. The detective is standing towards the north side of that hallway, towards the front door, giving you a perspective down the hallway into the dining area of the residence.
And so hallway is not depicted on the sketch map, but is it that, the sketch map marks 6, is it fair to say it's that area, as you look at the sketch map upside down to the left of the area marked stairs?
That's correct.
And now, looking at the photo marked 55 of State's 5, what's that depicted there, sir?
This is a view, the detective took this photo at the base of the stairs. So that the front door to the residence would be basically right behind me. He's giving you the view up the stairs to the second floor landing, depicting the stairs, the railing, and the short spindles, banisters, if you will, at the top of the stairs.
Now, these are obviously, before you put down the placards, denoting the blood transfers on the stairs, fair to say?
That's correct.
And when you folks process a scene, what type of clothing are you wearing?
We're wearing what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. Depending on the scene, we're wearing booties, rubber gloves, sometimes 2 pairs, masks, tie-back suits. Depending on what it is that we're doing, sometimes we're wearing breathing apparatus. Depending on the scene.
And did you wear the protective clothing in this particular instance?
PPE was worn during this.
And why do you do that?
Several reasons. Number one, a lot of the scenes that we're working at, there's a lot of biological fluids, and you don't want to get that on your clothes, on your shoes, because if you chuck it outside, you're very home with you to wash your clothes. Nor do we want any of our, we want to minimize the chances of any of our hairs, fibers, and we must do that. People have to be seen. But it's more so for the biological. Gloves are worn at every crime scene because we're handling evidence.
Now, looking at,
Well,
yes,
I think at this point it would be appropriate to suspend and have our lunch and recess.
thank you, sir.
All right? So we're going to stop at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Again, remind